supposed to be stupid enough to think that the world is becoming conscious. Look at them. Yeah, that's what they say. We gotta, yes.
See, those events, they're just like the NFL and the NBA. It's entertainment.
Entertainment.
They just put on a big entertainment show and everybody can join in. Everybody's happy and everybody go home. You never hear nothing about nothing. Nothing gets accomplished. And the band plays on.
If the 2 million man march was real, it was, hey man, we left Philadelphia, at least I left Philadelphia, dropped through Wilmington. All those places was devoid of Negroes. They was all here. When I come down Martin Luther King and hit the Southeast was devoid of Negroes. It was a minimum of 2 million people down there.
What did it produce?
That's right. Nothing. They have been, like you say, now all these, see the March on Washington, what the March on Washington was the same thing as this. Remember the Big Six? Mm-hmm. Remember the people wanted to make a move? And when they when the system want to make a banner wave and march, they just snap their fingers and all their pieces fall together. This is not new, but we had to have it to show the people. Just like nothing happened with the March on Washington, right? Nothing happened with all of these. It shows the great freedom of America. Well, remember, they had 35 million people worldwide 15 years ago demonstrating against the war in Iraq. And George drove right on over there like him. And when they caught him in lies, for what? He's not in jail. All those people killed, all those destroyed lives, the whole country in shambles.
All that blood on his hands.
No big deal. If I lie, if you lie, if anybody else lie about the smallest thing, you can go to jail and pay a fine for libel. Right? He lies and gets, by now it's in the millions. Because the aftermath of all of that, the continuation in Afghanistan, all of the Middle East right now, that you go back to the root and you'll find it in Iraq. It's just true. Okay, now you and I in our line have to have patience. Because I brought a few things just that we remember, the paperwork that I had from all the arrests and what have you, and our witness list and all of that. I just brought a few of them. And I brought a few as just a reminder. We didn't just get started with this. We've been on this thing for almost 50 years, 48 years, from 1971, whatever that adds up to. Something like that. Because our position was this. We knew something was wrong, and we knew what was wrong. But we were not in a situation, although we tried, to clarify those issues. That the system is killing you, and they have done this, they have done that. Why? Because I had been encouraged to become a drug dealer. And I was black. So you could imagine what I looked like in court. Trying to prove that the system, right in the middle, right smack in the middle of the law and order Nixon time. Law and order Nixon. So it was a great challenge. But now, we're in a different time. We're in a different environment. You know the main thing that's different? Whatever they try to do to us, we're clean. We're not drug dealers. We're Muslims. You ain't got nothing on us. You can't make us paranoid because all we do, we try to do good behavior. So everything that they would do before that might work does not work now. And nothing like that works. Why? Because we're following the direction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, they can't do nothing to us. I mean, they try. I remember the last period of, we won't call it paranoia, let's call it sensitivity. I came here in '87, talked to the street prayer. Said, well, this is the way the world is right now, this is the way America is. What you do, we need to organize what we have. And da-da-da-da-da. You know, remember now, we're giving speeches, all of us on that team. We're floating around the country. We got a lot of support, but it's not coalesced together. It's not cohesive. It's cohesive ideologically, but it's not a functional. So I say, you assume the leadership, and I'll go around and I'll put all these pieces together. Of course, he backed out. He backed out on me, but if somebody else offered allegiance to him, he would take it. Yes, he would. But he wouldn't take it from me because what I was telling him is how we're going to we're going to do this. We got this covered. Every big scheme that we had in those days, he undermined it. Yes, he did. I was looking right at it. Every big scheme, every big plan, organized approach of something that would be not only universal, not only inspirational, but functional. So, that's '87. And while I'm talking, I might look around a little bit. But that was the end of that period. Several years later, he did it 4 or 5 times. We're in Amsterdam going to somewhere. We would change the planes in Amsterdam for either South Africa or Iran, one of those. And we would hang out together because he had one of those travel ambassador cards, you know what I mean, where you got a 6-hour layover, you can go into the ambassadors club, they got tea, coffee, you could stretch all back.
Like a VIP.
Yeah. So he could bring me in 2, 3 times as a guest. Can I bring my guest up? Okay. One of the times, he was looking all around. Said, do you think people are watching us? Or do you think that man is watching us? You know, trying to maybe get, I don't care if you know, you know. But it reminds me of my best friend that helped us along. This was before I left the country. We was running in the hills. course, he's a government agent, and he asked me, we got to the top of one of the hills. Now, ain't nothing out there but animals and stuff, you know. You think anybody's watching us? I said, hell yeah. Well, I was juiced up in those days, you know. Sensitive, not paranoid, sensitive. But see, it was good to go through those periods. You're going to go through them anyway if you're out there in the street. But to learn how to not only cope with them, but manage them. It's a very critical time. At that time, you feel like you have a whole empire, and the white man is trying to take your empire away. So, and you know the power he has, and you know the history that when the white man, when your number come up, usually you go. And as a young guy, you just, I ain't putting up with it. I ain't going for it. So you be juiced up, ain't no doubt about it. Those periods are so far back in history, it's as though they don't exist. This system and its Negroes are always trying to push those buttons to the doggone near 50 years old. And we're very happy because you're pushing a button that nothing ring behind it.
It's obsolete.
Obsolete. That shows they're obsolete. Yeah, the system. You gotta understand, we didn't whoop them. Look, you take my word for it. Boss man has got the spit slapped out of him. You know when you're boxing and the guy hits you, after about the 7th, 8th round, that sweat goes out like that from that punch. Bam! You see the sweat go out. Well, you can slap a sucker and spit will come out of his mouth. That's what we do to the white. We slap the spit out of that cracker. Yes, we do. Almost every day. Every time he messed with us, we slap the urine out of that boy. Only thing is, in front of everybody. Can't hide. So that means his days is numbered. Because it can scare a lot of people, but some people are paying attention. The other thing is what we talked about years ago is chronicling. Archivist. Grand jury. What do people think we've been doing? What do you think we're doing now? This is archiving. Here's why it's so important. After King them, after Malcolm them, after Paul Robeson them, everybody else tell the story, right? Because they're not there. They ain't gonna be able to do it with us. If some Negro or cracker jump up and say da 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 da, there are, I would say, thousands, but hundreds and hundreds of DVDs, CDs, clarifying what we say. Like, this is what we say. Now, they can say anything they want. But see, anybody that's on the side of truth can crank up. And we asking everybody too, all of y'all watching, get you a good set of computer and download everything on abdul-alim Musa. Go to other sites everywhere, download everything. So it will be multiple, we already got multiple records, but we want multiple records. We want everybody, just download, get your little computer gadget, whatever they are, and just fill them up. Make 2 or 3 copies. So you got everything. You gotta see, times are getting close. You know, like you can, when stuff start matching up and the environmental circumstances start coming together. That's what's happening now. Manifestation of defects, the demonstrations with the little kids and they're trying to get the weapons from the people. Okay. Number one, they're not going to get the weapons from the people. They can forget that. Because just like they have dope smuggling, they'll have weapons. They got armed dealers. Shoot, the Negro, the white folks will set up in Honduras a spot, Mexico a spot, and they'll start sending them AK-47s in here for little or nothing. Boatloads and bucket loads, right? They can forget about taking America's arms. Everybody is wired up and they see the U.S. police is now helmeted, jackbooted, military attire on the people. That's all illegal. That is illegal on the original Constitution. But let's forget about being in the time of the original Constitution. Why we say that? Because you don't have none. The Bill of Rights? What Bill of Rights you think you got? None. You don't have any. There is literally no Bill of Rights for the people. So we have to take the rights in our own hands. As I say, when I go back to Oakland, I do what I want because I'm taking my life, my rights in my own hands. The judge can't give you an illegal order and think I'm going to follow it. So I'll give them one little appearance to say, okay, what you going to say? Well, I may not even do that. But I have to take my life in my own hands. All the stuff they've done is flat out illegal and criminal. We're going to tell the people that over and over again. When we get them in court, we're going to get them to run their spiel. It don't make no difference win, lose, or draw. But whatever they say, we're going to get them back again. They done already gave this. Repeat what you said last year. They can't do it. Plus, we've only presented 20% of our information anyway. Why we do 25%? That's enough to win. Long march, long range, protracted struggle. Yeah, protracted. So we want freedom from Zionist control. Freedom from military-industrial complex control. What does that mean? Freedom from the military. This is what, man, Eisenhower, a lot of people don't even remember who he was. Dwight David Eisenhower, his last speech. Beware of the military-industrial complex. I looked into it, what he said, more than just that speech. He was a military man. There had only been 2 5-star generals during that war. That was General Douglas MacArthur and Dwight David Eisenhower. One in Japan, another the whole European theater. Maybe Eisenhower wasn't as dynamic as MacArthur, but he was a conciliator, a unifier. That's what they needed for Europe. In Japan, they just needed somebody to take care of business, and he wasn't putting up with all the other people, and each one of them did a good job. But as president, Eisenhower now, he's not a military man anymore, but he sees what's going on. That now they want to have continuous Cold War type thing where the military will dictate how much money the people should spend on it. Remember in the 80s or the 90s when they came out with, during the Reagan administration, they came out with all of these studies, and they might call a hammer or a certain type of driver instrument, and the military would charge them $10,000 for a hammer.
Right. Pork, what they call it, spinning, some type of
Pork barrel?
pork barrel, is it pork barrel?
Pork barrel.
Pork barrel, yeah.
Pork barrel, that come from back in colonial times. You know, when pork barrel, salt pork, you know, no refrigeration. You want to preserve something, you put it in salt. In fact, we remember salt pork barrel. Anyway, the military-industrial complex, right now. Military-industrial complex is part of the deep state. The NSA is part of the deep state. The CIA is part of the deep state. Why? Because they bring and put out and kill and enhance and do stuff in any country they want to keep those people at war. Why? Because look how much money the weapons manufacturers make off war. They don't make no money off peace. And they have control. That's why Eisenhower was saying, beware of the military-industrial complex. Because see, what happened with Johnson's war on poverty? He started off with it, but it went out the window. Why? All the money went to Vietnam.
Half of Trump's current budget, 1.3 trillion,
Right.
over half of it is going to the military.
It's insane. For what? They have no more need for big giant aircraft carriers. They have no need for that stuff. But the people that's running the show, the deep state, you got to do that. Remember when Barack Obama was trying to be friendly and they let people jump over the White House gates 2 times? Why they do that? Because to let them know we are your security. If you keep talking that, we fold in our hands. You got your wife, your children, and your mother-in-law at the White House. You mess with us, you'll be a dead nigga. Because ain't nobody playing with you. Okay. That's the deep state. See, forget about the people talking. We're going to vote in this. You ain't going to vote in nothing.